Hi, Colleen.
Yeah, Colleen and Rosemary.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I didn't
How
want
are
to
you?
interrupt the conversation.
Oh, no, we're just having fun with last night's town council meeting.
Yeah,
How's your city council meetings?
They've been
Good?
interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. The word is interesting.
Well, yeah, well, just have to have one or two people who are different, and it sort of really, the dynamics is really hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We have, but fortunately on the school committee, we have a 3-hour policy.
Oh,
Well, we have
we have that, but sometimes we go over, but we say what we.
Ours is 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's even better.
we have a rule that we stop at 10:30, but last night for a legitimate reason, we ended up going till 11.
Can you hear me?
Wow.
Oh, hi, John.
Hi, John.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
We can hear you, John. Can
hi,
you hear us?
Rosemary.
Can you hear us, John? I don't think John can hear us.
Do you have his
There we go.
telephone number that we could call him?
Gotta turn his speakers on or something.
I have his cell phone number.
Oh, okay, good.
So John,
He's got to unmute.
He's on mute.
Well, he can't hear us, so that's the problem.
I don't see his mute button. So-
I do.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Jeff. How are you? I was just singing your praises. I was just singing your praises. So
Oh,
me.
really?
That's
I know.
right, that's
Yeah.
right.
You on the call. That's awesome. Yeah,
Gee.
I know. It's on to the next. You might hear my terrors in the background causing a ruckus downstairs. So be forewarned.
Oh, we're all accustomed to that, Jeff.
Yeah. I know. This is my break. This is like my reprieve from changing diapers and bath time. So.
Oh,
Jeff, you're not allowed to be that old. You're not allowed to be that old.
Yeah, I know. A 2 and a 4-year-old. I know. So.
hey, John, you are on mute. So get yourself off mute so we can hear you.
we can hear him now.
Well, do you click it? Or sometimes if you hold the space bar, it'll take you off mute. Just hold it down. Okay.
There you go,
Temporarily
John.
unmuted.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes. Can you hear us?
shake your head.
Because I don't know what to tell you. Is your speaker muted or?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
Bob Silva.
Hi, Bob.
yes.
Hi,
Hi,
Bob.
Bob.
How you doing? I'm having trouble getting in on Zoom here, but I
Oh,
don't know
very
whether
good. I'm hanging up.
Can you see me at all?
No,
No,
All right.
it's-
I just sent you a message to start your video, Bob. You should be able to click on a button on your screen.
Video, huh? I got your video is stopped and your microphone is unmuted. What else on my screen?
Is your daughter home?
No, none of them.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
everyone is
You
out.
got it?
yep,
All right.
You're
Yes,
on.
there you are.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, I see myself.
Okay,
Sorry
good.
for the confusion. How is everyone?
We're fine. And how are
Good.
you?
Could be better. I'm still struggling with the aftermath of the surgery. I just finished my physical therapy a moment ago. They come to the house and
Yes.
now I want to just go to bed, and go to sleep.
Those physical therapists, I don't know.
Yeah, I know it.
They're tough.
Well, it is what it is, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Ron, how many people do we have?
You just muted yourself, Bob. We have a quorum. We're missing David Dittman. He emailed to say he wasn't going to be able to make it today. And then I think the only other committee member we're missing at the moment is Erin Donovan. She's I don't know if she's planning to come or not, but we do have a quorum.
Okay, and how about Colleen Germain and Sarah Burke? Are they on?
Colleen is on. Sarah has not come yet, no.
Hi, Colleen, how are you?
Very well, Bob. How are you? It's been a long time.
Okay, I know it has been.
Yeah.
I know it has been. But we never forget our friends, right?
That's right. That's
There
right.
you
I
are.
I was telling my former student, Jeff over here, he can't be this old.
It happens. And
Yeah.
I see Rosemary's here too. How are you, Rosemary?
Hi, Bob. Good to see you.
Yep, talk about old. She and I have been around a long time.
Whoa. Talk about old.
Boy.
What an introduction.
Boy.
Only good friends.
Good
can
thing I
speak.
like you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as my children tell me, age is only a number. Don't listen to it or look at it. You know, you're as young as you feel.
That's
Uh,
right.
Well, are we ready to call the meeting to order?
I think so. We're past
Okay,
4:30. Yeah.
That's been done. Essentially, the subject matter is one that has basically been entrusted to the good officers of the subcommittee, which is Tom Kowalczyk, Leanne Heffenton, and John Bagwell. And they've been doing the work on this, and they thought it was would be meaningful to have a connection between the superintendent in Middletown, the superintendent in Newport, so we could share things. So I'm going to kind of step aside and let you good folks start to talk about things. And essentially, the meeting was called to deal with identifying the career education programs in Newport, and how Middletown and Middletown students can participate more fully in that effort, and what we can do to recommend eventually to the council if the council needs to get involved in the matter. So go ahead. I don't know who wants to start. Tom, John, Lee.
Well, Bob, Newport has a presentation, so I propose that they go first and they present their
Okay.
programs.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay, go right ahead,
All
Colleen.
right. Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, John, former neighbor, for inviting us to Middletown. It's good to see Ro. It's always nice to see fellow superintendents and what we go through every day. But I want to thank you for inviting us here. I have my director, Robert Young, who's here on the screen with us, and also our college and career coordinator, Carrie Clark. And the two of them, I'm going to let them take it from here. And we're here to answer questions and just share out what we have to offer to Middletown. And I also want to say on the other side, we appreciate all the programs that Middletown offers us, because it gives all students opportunities and access for different venues. So thank you to Middletown for that. And I'm going to hand it over to Carrie and Robert.
I'm just going to jump in before Rob goes, just because I'm kind of handling the slides and the technology part. So I'm going to bring that up, and just to let you know, so we're going to obviously we're doing introductions now. We are going to show a video. It's about 10 minutes, but I think it's really valuable in terms of hearing from our students directly, hearing from alumni, industry partners, and our teachers. So we're going to show that. And then we're going to go through a slide deck and just give some basic information about NACTech, some data, where we think career and technical, or where we're headed as a center, and then go through our programs very briefly. And then we wanted to leave a lot of time for questions so that so we can interact, because we're all friends here. And I see a lot of people I've worked with in the past, and some people that I've emailed with or talked with on the phone. So it's nice to kind of meet you now here in this forum. So I don't know, Rob, if you want to say a few words, or but I'll get the technology up and running.
Sure. I just want to first off just say thanks for this opportunity. My name is Robert Young. I'm the director of the Career and Tech Center. Over 5 years now, so it's been a long time. But anytime I get the opportunity to talk about our programs, I I take advantage of that. I mean, I love what our teachers are doing. I love the hands-on opportunity that our students get when when they get to our programs. And I'm an advocate for our programs, all the time, everywhere I go. So, if I'm at a restaurant and I see the manager there, I'm going to ask the manager, where do you get your workers from? Or if I'm getting my car fixed, I do the same thing. So I'm always pushing, our programs to let them know. I drop off my card and they'll call and talk about our programs and things. But this is anytime I get the chance to talk about what we're doing, for the students over here, I value that opportunity. So I appreciate you giving me the time to come out here tonight.
Okay. I think it's sorry when you're the Wizard of Oz behind here, you can't necessarily see everything that's going on. So can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All set.
All right. I'm going to tee up the video now and let that play, and then we'll come back to Rob and I will go through the slides.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young. They say I'm caught up in a dream.
I was blown away when I came to Rogers to experience the program.
The thing is, we don't call it vocational education anymore. We call it career and technical education. So I think in the past, when a lot of us as parents were growing up, you had the two choices. If you were going with voc, then you weren't going to be college prep. We make sure students have the opportunity to be in career and technical education and in the traditional college prep courses. So they take the world languages, the opportunity for honors, AP, and the college track as well. So we really pride ourselves on the fact that you can take both programs, and then when you graduate, you have the choice of going to the career or going to college. It's
more about college. You can apply those like real life situations when you're learning math. I'm more hands-on than most people. Like I can learn a lot more in 20 minutes doing something hands-on than doing something for 2 hours in a textbook.
So my name is Elizabeth Letourneau. We are in the NACTech building, and I am the teacher for Academy of Information Technology and AP Computer Science Principles. Half of them will probably go into some field related to computer science. That would be also including not just getting a career right out of high school, but it also would be going into college, higher education, and majoring in some field of computer science, whether it be ocean engineering, graphic design.
My name is Stella Garcia, and I'm a senior in the Newport Area Career and Technical Center AOIT program. We make a digital portfolio with all the stuff that we've done from AOIT 1 and 2, and then AOIT 3, which is what I'm in now, is an independent study where we can pick any computer science topic that we want and spend the year studying it.
I think being in this program has definitely benefited me in many ways. I think that I've gotten so many new skills, and it's going to help me so much out in the workforce. Being in a salon or being in an office, it doesn't matter, because the communication skills that I build in here with clients, the technical skills, they're just so beneficial everywhere I go. This summer, I interned at the Newport Chamber of Commerce. I participated in the Prepare I internship. It was funded by the states. I was able to work at the chamber for 8 weeks this summer and, be a part of their day-to-day.
Well, I started culinary freshman year, and I've kind of just pursued it. It's my favorite class. And last year, I went to the Skills USA Nationals for commercial baking, and I was ranked 7th. And I'm going to win this year. I work at Empire King Coffee. It's just a local business, and we do a lot of baked goods, croissants, scones, cookies, muffins, that type of stuff. So they asked me to bake the majority of it.
I became a chef because I was a very fussy student. I couldn't focus. I needed direction, and I went to Jericho Career and Technical Center for the hopes of finding a vocation that fit me. And I got into culinary, and it hit right away. It was everything for me. I got an opportunity to run my first kitchen 7 years ago, and I came directly from that kitchen to here to teach kids things that I hope I had learned about a decade ago.
We've been a partner with Newport Schools for many, many years, specifically with their culinary arts program. The students that are enrolled in that culinary program are learning a nationally recognized industry certification program. They're receiving college credits, they're receiving college scholarships, and they're also learning technical skills that are going to secure a job for them if they choose to go directly into industry right after graduation.
It's definitely an excellent idea to add the hospitality path for one of the programs. It is one of the largest career paths in Rhode Island, and it's really a wonderful industry to be in. And for our career paths and job opportunities here, there's such a wide variety of it. It's really amazing.
Hi, my name's Lucian Sullivan. We're over in the NACTIC program at a Cyber Patriots meeting. Here to learn about some Cyber Patriots and why everyone should join.
Program is basically an early college learning program that helps you. And if you're in the PSEC program, you get to take a test, which helps you. If you pass it, you go to CCRI to take classes there, which gives you college credit.
Basically, I'm a part of the PSEC program, so I can take college classes while still being a full-time student at Rogers High School. And I can earn early college credit, so I can just go for my bachelor's degree as soon as I get out of high school. My parents are thrilled and they love me coming down here just to go to CCRI. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm down here.
Because of our proximity to Naval Station Newport and all the defense contractors, they decided that this would be a good location for the cyber range. Last I checked, I think there were over 1,000 cyber jobs open in Rhode Island, all with significant starting salaries that the PTech students will be prepared to take.
I'm Isaiah King. I'm at Rogers High School and I'm doing vinyl signage on a recycling center. They're still working with like designing stuff and you're still working with technology. So pretty much put the two together and that's it.
Now she's working on the first step of our pop art self-portrait project, where she's laying down all of her newspaper clippings. And once all this Mod Podge dries, she's gonna put a sketch of her face over top of it, and then we're gonna paint like pop art style of our own faces on top.
It's one of them.
We have a lot of individuals, seasoned employees who've been with the company for a long time, who are now moving on, retiring, and things of that nature after lifelong careers with the company. So we're in a position where we're looking for new talent, and just getting the word out is a big thing. Make sure that everybody's aware that there is a fantastic opportunity right here in Rhode Island.
My name is Veronica Brown. I'm the Director of Marketing and Events at Newport Shipyard, and I'm also the parent of a Rogers High School sophomore.
I first went into the program, I was really interested in building things and how things worked. And when I got down, it exceeded all of my expectations. One of the big advantages is we have a large range of students. We have everything from kids that maybe don't come from the most wealthy and privileged families, but we also have kids that are very fortunate, very lucky. And they all come in and none of them are treated differently.
We love working with NACTech, with Rogers High School, and we are so fortunate to have a program like that in our community where we can get kids, bring them in young, and hopefully get them to be interested in the marine trades.
My name is Ezra Montero, and I will be going to Howard University, the #1 historically Black college university throughout all of the United States.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan Branco. I am in the Army National Guard, and I will be attending the University of Arizona and majoring in
Hi, my name's Graham Kluwer, and this fall I'll be majoring in astronautical engineering at the United States Air Force Academy.
Hi, I'm Alex Dizon, and I'm a first-generation college student, and I will be attending Johnson Wales University in the fall and learning culinary arts.
My name is Eliza Taylor, and I'm going to URI to study ocean engineering and French.
Hi, my name is Jack Gomes, and I'll be going to WPI to study computer science.
Hi, my name is Zoe Lynn, and I'm a first-generation college student, and I'll be going to URI to major in biokinetics.
Hi, my name is Ani, and I will be attending UConn in the fall. I'm majoring in digital media and design, and I'm minoring in business.
Hello,
My name is Leslie Ortiz, and I will be majoring in computer science at the University of Rhode Island.
Hi, my name is Brian Neal. I'll be going to Rhode Island College to study business and finance and continue my track and field career.
All right, I'm just gonna bring up the slides now.
So Carrie, I think we want to share too that the video, because of COVID, we don't have the most
Yes,
recent.
I was gonna mention that when I get
Yeah.
to the slides. So yes, as Colleen just said, that is a couple years old. So those students are all off in college or pursuing their careers. And it's actually so nice to see them. It never gets old watching that video for me. And we still are in touch with most of those students. So they're really doing well, and we love it when they come back and visit us. So we do, yeah, because of COVID, we couldn't do another video. We usually do one every year, but I am going to show you a marketing piece that we have that's going to be in the slide deck that I'll send this to you so that you can, if you want to look through this on your own. We do have short videos that we've created this year for each program. So it's like a minute or 2 minutes. So if you want to see kind of what's going on now, some of our new programs, you'll have that and you can watch those videos if you're interested. So Rob, I think you're going to kind of take it over right now.
Yeah, going to put the slide deck up?
Yeah. Can everyone see it?
No, it's not up yet. They still see the video.
Oh, huh. Okay. Sorry. Let me see if I can. It's showing up on mine. So let me just try to
Oh, there we go. We'll
change them. Okay.
All right. So just a quick overview of the Career and Tech Center. So it's NACTech, Newport Area Career and Technical Center. We have Little Compton, Tiverton, Portsmouth, Middletown, Newport. We also have a couple students from North Kingstown, and there's some interest this year from Jamestown. In all the center, we have 420 students. So right now at Rogers, there's 649 students, the entire population, and 420 of them are in one of our CTE programs. There's 11 of our programs, and we have both full and part-time opportunities. Because Middletown is so close, we do have, a pretty good number of students that do attend our programs on part-time. And what that means is they'll come to us for the career and technical education portion, and they'll take an elective after that. So they'll come here for culinary, for example, and take phys ed one semester, maybe art the next semester. Some students, if needed, may take a core course with us. If they can't fit it at Middletown because of the way the schedule works, then we'll allow some of our students to take, an English, a math, or a science or something if needed, which will allow them to take both CTE at our place and continue to be part-time and finish up the rest of their stuff at Middletown High School. I think we're all very, very proud to say that 96% of our CTE students do graduate on time. So it's the highest subgroup, and all of the subgroups at Rogers High School are our CTE students. And, I say a lot of that has to do with the relationship that they build with their teachers. So in CTE, you'll have the same teacher for 4 years, and you'll see them for more time per day than with others. So I think, a lot of us in education will say, one of the things that we encourage all of our students to do is get involved in the school, get to know somebody, have that peer mentor interaction. And, I think that leads a lot to our graduation rate, but we're, super excited to say that that number is that high. We're NEASC accredited. So, most every high school in the state is NEASC accredited, but the Career and Tech Center went through its own NEASC accreditation just a couple of years ago. So that group came down and focused specifically on the Career and Tech Center. They spent 4 days there, checking on, and mainly they look at curriculum, instruction, and assessment. So those three things in all of our programs. They also look at some of the supports and, how we're financed and how our building looks. But we were happy to say that we did maintain our accreditation. So there's only 2 centers in the state that have that. So us and Warwick are the other center that has its own NEASC accredited. So, and student choice. So the students choose to come here, so they have the opportunity to come to the Career and Tech Center. So we talk about career and technical education for the 21st century. So it prepares our students for college and career. It's hands-on, so a lot of project-based learning. They do get a lot of real life experiences. So we have our students go on internships. inside. Some of them run their own businesses. We do focus on a lot of community projects, and we'll go into a couple of those projects as we go through. Students have the opportunity to earn free college credits and an industry recognized credential. Some of the other things that the students get to do is they get to participate in some competitions. So it's kind of like their varsity sport, or it's their time to really show, what kind of skills they have, and they go up and compete against their peers and others. So we have Skills USA, which is a local competition first, and then they'll go to a state competition. And if they win the state competition, then we send them to the national competition. So we didn't have it this past year because of COVID. They did compete this year, a little bit different because it was virtually, but the last time we did the actual competition, we sent 5 students to Louisville, Kentucky to compete in their particular competition. So there were 2 in IT, there was a cybersecurity, and then we had one in the baking competition. She was extremely proud. She really wanted to go back the next year, but they didn't have it that year. And we also have some Pro Start, which is our culinary arts competition, which is really exciting. It's like one of the competitions that you see on TV where they get a box of groceries and they have to put together a meal. And then they have these chefs who will critique how they work as a team, but also how the meal comes out. So it's really fun to go and watch some of those competitions. And it allows the students, to really, put their skills and show off their skills. And it's like I said, for a lot of them, it's their varsity sport. And all of our students have access to AP classes, honors, some academic support. They do participate in music, art, clubs, and other sports. And so I can honestly tell you, on here, I know it's being recorded, my boss will not let me say it can't be done. So she'll make sure if a student's in carpentry and they want to take AP something, we'll work and make sure it happens. So, we're really proud to say that our students have the opportunity, to get their hands on and, focus on a high level of academics. And one thing I just wanted to add on here. So how do we know that this is 21st century career and tech education? We know that because all of our programs have to participate in subcommittees. And in those subcommittees, there are members of the Career and Tech Board, which is put together by the governor, but they also have industry folks that are on that board that help guide our curriculum and guide what we're teaching and guide us, our teachers, on what skills these particular industry folks are looking for, so we can work on those skills while the students are in high school. So when they're ready to graduate, they have those skills needed, to be hired right away. So that's a really important part to know that, some of our students are working on equipment that they have in the industry. So like our tire changer in our auto shop is the exact same one they have, in many of the auto shops, in the area. So when we were purchasing that, we went and talked to them, saw what they have, and that's the exact same one we purchased. So, our curriculum and the things that we teach are always changing based on what the community, the industry asks us and tells us what their needs are.
Okay, this slide shows just a sampling of some of our partners. And as we know, as educators or members of the community, being involved in the community and with businesses is really important to any school, especially in career and technical education, because of the real world setting that's necessary to make that a really valuable experience for students. So you can see there's a sampling on here. There's industry groups, there's Preservation Society, CVS, there's small businesses, big businesses, national, international. So we're really proud of our partnerships, and we're very fortunate that businesses really want to work with us. We get a lot of phone calls from people wanting to work with us and wanting to work with our students. So we're very fortunate in that aspect. Many of them are from Middletown. So I'm going to actually speak about internships in a second. So this is a slide here. I have a couple of pictures of internships that have recently taken place or been successful. So this student over here on the left, in the automotive bay, Kevin Medeiros, he graduated last year, but we wanted to get him out into the real world. He'd been in automotive for 3 years. This was his 4th year. He's a Tiverton student. And so one of our relationships is with Langway Toyota in Middletown. And so we thought he'd be a great candidate. He went for interview. They had him start co-oping. So he was going to Langway and working there 3 days a week instead of going to his 4th year of automotive. He would come and take his core classes and then go there in the afternoon. And they, even with COVID and everything, it worked out. And because that's an essential business and he was hired, he works there. We go visit him and he's so happy and excited, and he has benefits and retirement and everything. And I mean, that's somebody that wanted to go right to work. And so that's just ideal for us. And of course, we encourage all of our students to pursue post-secondary education if that's what they want. Some students will go to work and then they'll decide they do want to go to school, and they can do both, or they can choose one or the other. So that's another key kind of tenet of 21st century career in tech, is that we prepare you for both. You don't have to choose anymore. You don't have to choose, I'm going right to work, I'm going to college. You can do both. It's all about flexibility and providing options for students. And then these pictures on the right that's a student up on top she was working at Renew Salon, which is down in Newport, all the way in Newport. And that's like a full service salon they have. One of our alumni, Rachel Prendergast, who's also a parent, she is very involved in our program and she takes on our interns. She's a great mentor. And Rob and I were actually just interviewing teachers, and she was on our panel. So we just have that kind of involvement with our community, and it's really strengthens our programs and experiences for our students. The student down on the bottom, that is one of our P-Tech graduates. He's about to finish up his associate degree. He did graduate last year, but he interned over the summer with Newport Public Schools IT department. And that's him there in his first year. And then he came back this past summer, and also he did a stint over the academic year and just wrapped up that. So he's been with us a couple of years in paid internships. So it's really great when they actually get to be here on campus and work with us. This is another slide of internships. So the students over on the left, that I'm in the middle of there, those students, one of them worked at Innovate Newport. So they actually worked for Innovate Newport, of course, in the old Sheffield building. And then one worked directly for the Newport Chamber of Commerce, so for Aaron. And they worked there for the summer. They were paid. They received college credits through Prepare RI, and I would go visit them and we'd have lunch and just, I get to hear about their experiences. And I saw them grow so much throughout that summer, and they're off now, they're in college. So I know that those experiences help them prepare for the real world, which includes college. The top with the big group up there looks like a national signing day for maybe the NFL or something. That's one of our students that graduated from our carpentry or construction technology program. And he also did a co-op. So he worked for Kirby Perkins, same type of model as Langway, where he would go out during the school day. He'd come in the morning for his core academics, and then he would leave and go to the job site. And he had a mentor there, one of the foremen, and he loved it. And Jerry Kirby really liked him. And so he was hired, Niall was hired and he works for Kirby Perkins, and he's also at CCR taking classes. So we had a celebration there with Skills USA. They sponsored us to have kind of a fun celebration that was in the paper and everything. So we try to really celebrate our student success. And then the bottom picture there is some of our culinary students. That's is it Rosecliff or I forget which mansion that is. Where's the wine, food and wine is at I can't remember which mansion it is. One of the big ones. But they're there. They get hired during the Food and Wine Festival every fall. And that's a famous chef there. His name escapes me, but they actually get hired by the Preservation Society around that time for a couple of weeks. They use our kitchen here in the NACTech building to do a lot of their prep work. And it's just like a beautiful relationship where the students get to kind of be around all this fancy behind the scenes, Martha Stewart, and just, it's a really fun opportunity for them to have that real world interaction and see what it's like to work events and be back here in the kitchen and see the type of preparation that goes on. This is just a listing because I know we did get some of the questions in advance, and we did have a request to hear about internships. So I'm just kind of doing a high level thing here. These are some of the places that I've mentioned that we've had successful internship experiences with. There are some on here. So there's many that are in Middletown, Bank Newport headquarters. We've had a cybersecurity there. We had somebody actually do a facilities internship at all the Bank Newport branches, and they were hired on as a full-time employee. So, you can see there's a great list here of quality employers. And, at the end, if you have any more questions about internships and how that works, I basically coordinate those with the teachers and the students. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that. Community projects is another really important real world aspect of career and technical education. This picture these are some playhouses that were built by different career and technical schools around the state. This was the unveiling day. It's sort of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation where students with or young children with terminal illnesses have a favorite theme, and so their parents submit their name. And these are just some of the playhouses that were built. There's a little Harry Potter playhouse. Ours was a Transformer. So it's different themes, and it's a surprise. So they unveiled them up at Bryant University to the kids, and we collaborated with a lot of our art programs and other programs here to make it really special for them. And it's just, those are the types of things that we instill in our students, and they really, we all, whenever we volunteer and do things like that, it feels really good. And usually we get more out of it than the actual recipient, but those are the types of things that we do. And we do a lot with the churches, St. Augustine's, Lucy's Hearth, and things like that. So that's a really core tenet as well. This listing right here is something that, so when I share this slide deck with Ron, I'll send that over to him to distribute if you're interested. And this lists all of our programs right here, which we're gonna go over those right after this, Rob and I. But it shows our 11 programs, and then if you click on the link, the blue link, it's going to go to a short video of each program. So if you clicked on advertising design, then it's going to show you, it's a few students from ad design talking about the program. They do a little tour of our production facility and things like that. So you can kind of get more of a refreshed overview and just kind of see what's going on currently in there. So that's just an additional resource that you have, and it shows a description of each of the programs. So I don't know, Rob, do you want to take it over now?
Sure. So now we'll just quickly go over some of our programs, and then we'll leave some time for some questions and answers at the end. So first one is advertising design and new media. So we just call it ad design. Taught by Dave Connell. It's a lot of creativity, design, and layout. So many students who have a creative taste, but also like to do things on the computer. So maybe they're a little arty, but they do like to jump on the computer as well. We'll go into this class. I can tell you this class is growing faster than we are ready for. So his first and second level students have doubled in population in the last 2 years. So it's really, we find that, it's really a student interest. They have a lab where they do some screen printing. They'll make coffee mugs. They'll make hats. They'll do some embroidery, and they have a really good photo studio. So very popular class. It's growing faster than we expected. We expected it to grow, but it's a very popular program. Automotive technology. So our curriculum is automotive repair. They do some diagnostics, some simple repairs in there. It's a student-run business, so folks can come in there and have some repairs done on their cars. We have some state-of-the-art equipment in there. We just recently put a brand new alignment machine in there, which many small shops don't have. So they're going to start to send their vehicles to our place to be aligned. We've had some conversations actually with Middletown, Police Department, where they could send their police cars to us, and we'll align their vehicles much cheaper than it would be if they went to somewhere else. So we've been in some of those conversations. But he also looks at other opportunities in automotive. So not just repair, but it could be the front of the house, working the desk. He has folks in there to talk about being a tow truck operator. He's got a really good relationship now with our drain. So we have some students that are working over there on cleaning cars, and then eventually they'll move up, hopefully to be a regular detail folks. But he does focus on not just repair, but any other opportunities in the automotive world. Our culinary arts program. So we have, this is another one that grew very quickly. So we did bring on a second teacher for that program. So we have Chef Riley and Chef Webb in there. So a lot of food preparation, baking, menu planning, nutrition. But what's good about it, it's student centered. So they may come up with some ideas for what they want to prepare for that particular week. We also have the Colonial Dining Room, which is our student-run business, our restaurant. So from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the restaurant is open where students will prepare the meals, they'll serve the meals, they'll work the front of the front of the house. There'll be the waiters, the waitresses, the hostess, and then and they'll work on a budget, how much they should charge for each particular food. So it's their own full restaurant that's really run by the students. So another very popular program.
And one of our newer programs is hospitality and tourism. There, like it or not, there's many new hotels in Newport, and of course, many in Middletown as well. And so that's a huge part of our economy. And so we worked with the Rhode Island Hospitality, which was in the video. And they actually came to us and asked us to launch this program that we've been thinking about doing. It is one of the fastest growing sectors in Rhode Island, and of course on Aquidneck Island and in the world. Fun fact. But we work closely with them, and there's so much opportunity there. There's so many new hotels and beautiful hotels and restaurants that have been opening, and Newport kind of continues to be a leader in that space. And once COVID's over, getting back to the weddings and events that go on here, there's a lot of really great opportunities, many different types of opportunities for our students, and it really pairs well with the culinary arts too, if they're interested in both. Cosmetology, that is all things makeup, hair, coloring, cut. We spend a lot of money in America on those things, on looking good. And it's one of our really successful programs. We've had, people, you think, oh, it's kind of, you think of Greece, or like it may be kind of the 50s or 60s, but it's really not. It's very entrepreneurial, and a lot of our alumni own the salons all around Newport, Middletown. Many of those successful salons, I'd say most of them, are actually owned by NACTech alumni, and they're very involved in our program. So that is something we are going to be keeping. And the internships there are amazing. We have no shortage of places, salons that want our students. And so we have the salon that is open to the public when it's non-COVID time. And when you graduate, you can get your cosmetology license and go right to work. Many of our former students have, one example I'm thinking of, she went to URI and she worked at a salon down there to help pay for books and housing. So she was in school for business and she worked at a salon. So that's just kind of an example of students that can actually do both at the same time, college and a career. Construction technology is another huge program for us. A lot of Middletown students in that one. And they have wonderful relationships, all the builders, big and small, all around Rhode Island and Aquidneck Island. Great relationships. They come into our classroom a lot to talk to the kids and try and recruit them for internships and jobs. Right now I'm working with a student from Middletown actually to do a co-op program next year. And we're looking at being, so we're hoping maybe since they're going to help us build the addition at Pell School, they might take him on as an intern. But it's really important to get the kids out at the job sites and to learn safety and to kind of see what it's really like in the day-to-day. So that's a very popular program. And there's a lot of women girls, young ladies that I'm seeing going in there as well. So we really encourage that. And same with automotive, the stereotypical gender specific programs, we're trying to break down those barriers and get them to be even more diverse in all areas. So that's really exciting to see. These students go out, this program goes out all the time. They do residential, they do projects offsite, like I was mentioning at the churches, and they did the Playhouse. So they have their own van, they go offsite and actually work, and it's an actual licensed business. So it's fantastic. Rob?
Yep. So our maritime electrical and pipe fitting, we're partnered with Electric Boat in these two programs. And, there's a really big push statewide for these types of programs in working with Electric Boat. So Electric Boat has a need of, I think next year it's 1,200 new employees to help fulfill the need that the contract that they've signed with the Navy. So there's I'm in meetings monthly with how do we get our students to get to Electric Boat. So Newport was selected as one of the Electric Boat partnership schools. So we have an electrical and a pipe fitting program. And the instructors are from the high school, but we also have a lot of interaction with Electric Boat, sending assistants down to help us, prepare our students for that piece. But they also have the opportunity for internships to go up to Electric Boat. If they come through our program, they can start at a little higher wage than if someone came off the street and went to Electric Boat. So IT Academy, so what we decided to do is we have our AOIT, which is Academy of Information Technology, and our PTech program. We kind of put them together because we saw we have two strong programs, and how can we make that better? What that does, it increases opportunities for our students. So they cover things in here from software, hardware, web design. They start to learn some of the computer languages. They also compete in Cyber Patriot, Skills USA. Our Cyber Patriot team, there's an armed forces competition, and that's been going on for 3 years, and we've won it for 3 years. So, very strong Cyber Patriot contingent. We have a really positive relationship with some industry folks on here. So some folks at Newark work with us. We're partnered with Synedia, Southeastern New England Defense Industry Alliance, and work with our students getting their internships. So here students can take classes, at the high school, or they can go to CCRI, where they have the opportunity to earn an associate degree at no cost to the student or to the parent. So our JROTC Leadership Academy, this is our, Army JROTC. It's one of the, when we say honor unit with distinction, that means it's one of the top 10% of the units in the United States. They came down and had a very thorough inspection with them, and the cadets stepped up and did a lot of positive things, and then we ended up getting that honor unit with distinction. What that means, if you wanted to go to one of the academies, if you graduate through our program, then you don't have to get your senator or congressman's endorsement. Coming through here, we'll kind of waive that need. They do a lot of community work. They also have some competitions here. They have the Raider Challenge. They have a rifle challenge. They'll learn first aid, CPR. But really, there's a lot of team building in this and some leadership opportunities. So as the students grow, they have more leadership opportunities, where they're kind of mentoring and guiding some of the younger cadets. So our visual arts program, this is our newest, this is our first year of a visual arts program. And there's a strong need or desire for students to take their arts to the next level. So the students that are in this program, they'll be in a cohort, and they'll take a series of visual arts classes. And in that, they'll do some internships. There'll be some mentor pieces. They'll build a portfolio, and they have the opportunity to go out in some of the other visual arts programs. They also work very well with our carpentry program. So one of the projects that you saw, the community projects, where they built the Project Playhouse, the visual arts team kind of designed it. Our carpentry team built it, and then the visual arts team came back and painted it. So it was a partnership. And so you see a lot of that stuff on TV shows now, where you'll have a designer will come in and design a kitchen or a house, and then the carpentry team will build it, and then the designer will come in and finish it. So our visual arts program is kind of geared towards that way.
Okay, and just really quickly, so we can get to questions. This is just, one of my favorite slides, the bragging slide here, just showing some of the schools. I do update this regularly. So you can see there's Ivies on there. There's some of the best technical schools, Howard, Johnson & Wales, Northeastern, that's my alma mater, URI, it really runs the gamut. And we definitely find that the career and technical programs help strengthen these students, because, as I said, they come back to see us and they tell us that. So it's really kind of the proof is in the pudding. And not only that, but they also go on to careers, and some go to college and then the careers. And that's kind of on the right here. There's a lot of local businesses that are on there where our alumni that are older, they have management, or they own the company or have management positions, or are executive chefs. And there's Amazon, Microsoft, a lot of our students are out on the West Coast as well as locally. So like I said, I will share this with Ron or whoever would like to be the person receiving it, and they can share it out with the gang on here if you're interested in looking at it more in depth. This slide here, I'm going to skip over because it actually answers the questions that were submitted to us in advance. It's just about how we communicate with Middletown students, Middletown families, and the schools to tell them about our programs. Again, this is stuff you can look at if you're interested. It just has links to different things. Our website, we are on social media. You can come in and try one of our student-run businesses after COVID's over. Come and have something to eat and get your oil changed. And the school guidance counselors, some are more well-versed than others in our career and tech programs, but we're always willing to get on the phone, get on a call, or come in person, or have people here in our career and technical center to come tour. We do that all the time, all year round. So that's always an option. And if any of you wanted to come through, we're happy to have you. That's our contact info. And then these are the questions that were submitted to us in advance. I'm going to go through and answer a couple of them that I can answer, and then I'll let Rob answer the others. And then we can go to kind of an open forum if that works for everyone. So number 2, how often does NACTech present these courses to parents and students? So we typically start off at the beginning of the school year. We go in and meet with every single 8th grade class, the full class, every single 9th grade class. So by 9th grade, they're seeing it for the second time. We go in, show the video, we bring students with us and do, an assembly. We try to make it fun and interactive. And so they're receiving the material that way. They can take flyers home with them there, so they can bring that to mom and dad. We share the information out through the principals, like Principal Heath, who's on the call. He's wonderful in sharing out, if we have an info night or an open house. Although they were virtual this year, the schools are really good about sharing out that information with parents. We also have a shadow day that we invite the students into. So for students that are interested in checking the programs out, we host them. We'll have one for Gaudet, we'll have one for Portsmouth Middle, Thompson, of course, all the schools get to come through with the guidance counselors and teachers, and they get to spend the day in our program. So they pick ahead of time and they get to go sit in the programs they're interested in. And that's a really, really important event, because they can, that's where they can really see and be embedded in the program and see if it's something they want to do. Then we have an info night for parents. So that's kind of when the parents can come in, and that's a really popular night. They want to come see the programs, ask questions, and meet the teachers. And then there's, we have the social media, we have online, we have emails, we send postcards home, we have events in the summer to welcome students. So we are very active in communicating with the region, with the parents, students, and schools. So, but we're always open to suggestions, and we love doing forums like this. Like Rob said, we love coming in front of newer audience. I mean, like I said, I know a lot of you are familiar, but we always love to come and talk about our programs because we are very passionate about it. So that's kind of my spiel on number 2.
One thing on that, just to follow up for the team. So when Carrie says that we go into Middletown and talk to their students, both at the middle and the high school, I just want everybody, that's not the norm in the state. So we're very fortunate to have partners, like Rosemarie, like Jeff, and also at the middle school that allow us to go in there and talk to the students. So I have peers that are CTE directors and other programs where they can't get anywhere near some of their elementary school, or middle schools or high schools. So they have to do stuff without going into the building. So the relationship that we have with Middletown is real, and Portsmouth, but on the island is really a second to none. So it just shows that we do have a common theme, in that we all want what's best for students. We work together on providing them all the opportunities. But I just want to make sure everybody knows that allowing us into the buildings is not the norm, in the state. If you go to different parts of the state, you'll see that some folks, can't even go near a certain school. So it's a really good working relationship. Yes, great point, Rob. It is. We are very lucky. And I think we all work hard to make that a priority so students can have those options. For the question that says about summer internships, which courses offer summer internships, employment, all of them. If a student wants to work and wants to have an internship or employment, that's where I help out. The teachers are very involved as well. We make sure that they're prepared as much as possible. We never would send a student out for an interview unprepared, or if we don't think they're ready, we would have them do more of a volunteer type of project before we felt comfortable sending them out. So we do screen and prepare our students very much. That's really important, because none of us would want to have a student come and work for us that was not going to help the business or the organization. So that's really important. We want to make it a win-win, so that the businesses are getting a skilled employee
and that our students are embedded in a real world setting, and they can learn and really hone their skills. And I'm kind of a liaison, and the teachers are as well, that we work with the businesses to get feedback, where we can focus, where we can do better. And so we take a lot of pride in that. And so it's kind of, that's fully open to all of our programs and all of our students. Usually they need to be about 16 to really have a paid internship, but that's what we want, that for all students. And every student has to do a minimum of 80 hours of work-based learning before they graduate. So that's something they have to do as well. I'm just trying to see if there's any other that I would be specific to. We answered the question down here. It mentioned that Middletown had in 2019, there were 37 students were attending NACTech. And right now for this school year, Rob looked, and we have 30 right now. There's 11 part-time and 19 full-time. And that is definitely down because of COVID. So, and Jeff can speak to this, it's with the scheduling and everything, it was just, and keeping everybody safe. It was, we all did the best we could. And I think it'll be back up next year, but I just wanted to mention that. And then Rob, if you want to answer the others, the first one.
Sure. So the first one, which courses are 4 or 2 years in length? So all of our programs are 4 years in length. So you could take level 1, 2, 3, and 4, 9th grade through 12th grade. RIDE, when I say RIDE, I mean the Rhode Island Department of Education, they have a minimum of 3 years. So in order to be what they consider a completer, you have to complete 3 years in the program, get your 80 hours of work-based learning, and earn an industry recognized credential. So that's what RIDE would consider a completer. Our programs are 4 years, but we do allow students to come in at various times. So if a student wants to come in junior year and say, hey, you know what, I originally I wanted to go to college, but now this past winter I got a job in a restaurant and I really like it. Can I come to your program for 2 years? So the answer to that is yes. We do allow them to do that. What we normally do is we'll have them do some type of conversation with the instructor, and then from there they'll see what class that particular student should be in. So whether or not they should be in the introductory class or an advanced class. But we do allow our students to come in for less than the RIDE completer process of 3 years. So summer internships, I know Carrie did touch on that, and I did touch on the Electric Boat offers some summer employment. That was on track a few years ago. The Electric Boat, stalled with COVID before that, but they hope to kind of bring that up. I actually have a meeting tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I think, with Electric Boat to talk about some of the more stuff. But they're back on. They're back recruiting and heavily looking for students to go to their internship and then work into employment. And then assistance to students will connect with summer options. Kerry is great at that. So yes, she does a super job with that. And the follow-up after graduation, that's very difficult. And it's the state of Rhode Island is looking for ways to do that. And we try to continue to communicate with students after they graduate to see if they are actually working in the field. But I can honestly say I've been in administration and at the high school level for 13 years now. And we've always tried to do that with our students, but it's one of the things that are extremely difficult. After a year, maybe 2 years, they just don't keep in contact with their high school. But we are looking to find ways where if they do get a job, can our Department of Labor and Training track that? But then if they go get a job in Connecticut or Massachusetts or somewhere else. So it's an attempt, but it's not, not just us, but the state of Rhode Island is really not good at finding if they go directly into the employment and how long they stay there.
And then just the last one, number 6, about the funding.
Yeah, so Middletown receives X amount of dollars in state aid based on enrollment. That's correct. If the student transfers to Newport, does that aid follow? So no, it stays in Middletown, but the tuition, we do have a tuition agreement with all the communities. And so the tuition, Middletown would send us some money based on a tuition for that student to come here. If it's full-time, they have a full-time tuition. If it's part-time, they have a part-time tuition.
And vice versa, if we send a student to Middletown, we do the same.
Yes.
Okay, so those are all our slides that we have. So those are just the questions we had in advance. Thank you for sitting through all of that. I know it was a lot to take in, and that's why I'm going to share it with you afterwards. But I mean, I'm happy to take questions or just have a discussion, however you want to roll.
Bob, I have a question. Or some
Go right
questions.
ahead, Lee. Go right
Okay.
ahead.
Carrie, okay, how do you get well, first of all, say like in cosmetology, what about, are these students licensed when they come out, or do they have to go and take other courses to become licensed?
Excellent question. So with cosmetology, they build their hours up. So it's a full-time, you have to attend full-time for cosmetology. You need 1,200 hours to be able to sit for your state test.
Yes.
So what they do while they're still in school, they take the practical. So they do the hands-on portion of the state licensing test. And once they pass that, then they sit for their state boards, which is a written, which is the other part of the, the practical is part of that as well, but this is the written part. And so that usually takes place right after they graduate or around their graduation time. So
do you take care of that, Carrie, or is there like a state agency?
Yeah, so the teacher works with each student to do that. They tee that all up for them. They set up all the dates and all the preparation, make sure their hours are all submitted, because they can't do anything unless those hours are signed off on and confirmed. So the teacher, basically does all that for them and tees everything up for them they do the practical, and then the written part, they do usually have to do once they graduate, but it's usually right after they graduate. So the date and everything is coordinated by the teacher.
So you have to have a diploma, a high school diploma to get their
That's what it is. Yep.
And our teacher,
that's what I wasn't quite sure.
And our teacher does everything to get, she'll call them the morning of the test to make sure they're awake. She'll meet them at the testing site to find out, make sure they get there on time. She'll do everything except for, go inside the test with them, but she'll get the results. Sometimes our students will miss by 1 or 2 questions, and she'll come back, even though they graduate, she'll bring them back. They'll review again, and she'll pester them until they go back and take the test again. So
good. So there's good follow through.
Yeah.
For them, whether it's at the college level or CCRI or at the workforce. So there's continuation. Do you teach students how to start their own business?
Go ahead, Rob, if you.
Not a particular class, but it's embedded in some of the programs that we have. So in the carpentry, we do have kids that go out and they start their, John and Joe's carpentry, like small carpentry business. So while they're in school, they're doing that. So they learn that type of stuff embedded. It's in the curriculum for
okay. So you have that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they do learn the business. They have the units of business in there, because I've gone in and sat and I used to work in corporate marketing. So I would go in and talk to them about marketing case studies and building business plans. So they do that. It's not the main focus, but they touch on that quite a bit.
Okay. Another question in the sense of, I know at the state level, the many meetings that I attended, they had a problem with children with special needs. That wasn't there. So how is there a way that Newport County could work on a program with children with special needs? It's just something I'm throwing out, because that was a big topic at the state level, that many of the CTEs, just said, no, we can't do it. And then it got into laws. You have to provide an equal and equitable.
So our entire center is accessible by all. We have lifts and anything that anybody would need. The bathrooms are accessible.
Okay.
We have students with special needs students in all of our programs. I had I judged a cooking competition a little while ago, and the student that blew me away was one of the special needs students. He came in, he said, here's my chicken. He told me what he put on it. And I was like, I don't think that's going to work out well. Then when I ate it, he was by far, the number one. It was the best chick. I tell you, I would pay for that on the economy, any day. So So yeah, so we have students with that have one-on-ones, and the one-on-one will come into the classroom and make sure that they're getting all of their needs met. So all of our programs have
have something, or we could even think about another regional program that would have that for children with special needs, where the most of them are, because I think that's another.
Yeah, I mean,
And the high school has a skills program as well for other students too. So
yes, that's right.
And
it doesn't have to be there if you don't have room, but say like in Middletown, we have a lot of children with special needs from the other towns. So could we share? That word in Rhode Island. Sorry, I'm not from Rhode Island, but if we could begin to share and work together and see what we could come up with, I think that would be great too, because we really do need to begin to share. And hopefully Newport County or East Bay could become an innovative center for career pathways.
Yeah, so we gave a presentation like this to Portsmouth, to their team, and talked about some of the opportunities they have.
And Tiverton also,
Yep.
Don't forget Sally. Know how Sally is.
Carrie and Rob, I just want to compliment you on your program. I mean, it is really exceptional. And what my sense is that the state is also doing a lot with the Prepare Rhode Island, with the Advanced Course Network across the board. And that I'm never really sure how aware parents are of the opportunities that they should be steering their kids toward. And I base that on, I do interviewing for kids that want to go to college. So seniors and across the state. And then when I look at where they are when they're seniors in college, seniors in high school, and really I needed to talk to them when they were freshmen in high school to get them connected and with all these tremendous opportunities they have. So if there's anything that we could do to help you promote your program, please let us know.
Yeah, and it should be a shared program, I think, for Newport County. I think that would go a long way of getting more students involved.
Yeah, we have talked about that. I mean, Colleen, and Rob, and we've talked about it with the other districts about taking that route. I think, and we all agree it would be really powerful. We just have to get there and figure out how that's going to work. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I think that was one of the things we were thinking about. Bob, could I?
Yes.
Could I ask if Rosemary and Jeff could talk about our programs for the new people there? And then maybe this can be a beginning. And, we could get together again, Carrie, and begin to talk about how do we get Portsmouth involved? If we can get two towns involved, how can we get Portsmouth? Then we get Tiverton, and then anyone else, Little Compton, but we have to start somewhere.
Well, let me begin by echoing Tom's remarks. I'm absolutely taken back by the breadth and the scope of the program, and Carrie and Rob and their commitment to it. There's a lot of passion involved with these people, and you can tell that they're committed to do the best for the students. And quite frankly, I admit my unawareness of the depth of the program, and I'm enlightened, and I'm delighted that we put this together. So this should be at least a start for Middletown to continue to coordinate with Newport and to expand. And I agree with Lee. It would be wonderful if the program from Newport could extend to Portsmouth and then extend to Tiverton. I think nowadays, more often than not, the dream of the college education is not what it used to be. I notice when I have my wife call the electrician or the plumber to come to the house, I mean, those are great jobs. Those people not only are technically acumen, but they do well. I write the checks on the bills, and you don't have to be a college graduate to be a successful business person at this point. So I'm all in line with advancing the technical and career program as we can. Are there any other questions? John?
Bob, John has his hand up.
Yep.
John, you're muted.
Am I muted now?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
All right. Well, sometimes. Anyway, one of the questions I had, and you gave me a good lead, Bob, and that is, I agree. I hear people say we need more electricians and plumbers, but your programs don't include plumbing and training for becoming electrician. These, especially, I mean, electrician is a pretty high level of skill from what I see the people that come in here. Can you comment on that, on the opportunities there? And is that something you're thinking about?
I'll touch on that one. So there's some difficult part of starting a program like that. And the most difficult is the hardest is in order to start a program, you have to have an instructor. And so that would have to be someone who has at least been in the industry for five years. And then they have to have either a bachelor's or an associate degree. So finding instructors for those programs, one is very difficult in order to start up one of those programs. But, in our construction technology program, we do have students that get an entry level, electrical piece, and a very little plumbing as well. But if they want to go in that industry, if they say, hey, I want to be an electrician, like, for example, I had a student come to me today, say, I want to be an electrician. So we're connecting him with groups that will take him, maybe get him in an apprenticeship program or do an internship with an electrician for a year. And then that'll build into that particular person getting a job. So our construction technology program, it's really, I see the vision for that becoming like an academy where students will go in there, they'll work in there for 1, 2, 3 years. And maybe the year 4, they'll branch out, go do an internship with a plumber, with an electrician, a general contractor, construction manager. So whatever their interests are in that 4th year is where kind of they'll fine tune that stuff. And then when they graduate, they can go into that field. And one thing that Bob didn't say is how long does it take to get that plumber or electrician to come to your house, because they're so busy, but there's so few of them, right?
That's
so,
right. That's right.
It is a need, definitely a need.
Okay.
So that's the way you're approaching it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just want to follow up saying there is a lot of interest from our students in that area. Those are apprenticeship programs and they are regulated heavily by the government and the state and the federal government. So that's another thing with plumbing and electrical, not to say that we couldn't start a feeder program, but you can't, we can't host an apprenticeship program here because the way that it works is you are out you have to be hired by a business or a union first, and then you build your apprenticeship, then you go journeyman, then master. So it's a very long, lengthy program. But as Rob was saying, we are setting students up with kind of shadows or just exploratory types of things. We do have somebody interning with an electrical company now. It's not an apprenticeship, but they're interested enough to go out, and they're not getting paid. But they go out a couple afternoons and go see if that is what they want to do. Because it's a big commitment for a student that's 16, 17 to say, I want to be doing, I'm positive I want to do this and go into the apprenticeship route because it's a lot. But there's definitely a need from consumers, and there's definitely an interest from students. So that much I know, and I am working on how we can make it happen a little bit better down here and getting them into those areas. If you have ideas, let me know.
Well, now you mentioned interest. I remember when I was in high school, I took one of these interest surveys to find out what I'd be. And I think I came back and said, you'll be an insurance salesman. I said, that's the last thing I want to do. But guess what? After my bachelor and MBA program, I spent 25 years working with a company that designed and sold retirement programs. So there you are. So, I mean, do you offer the kids a sort of an interest survey so you can?
Yes. So students have ILPs. So we were kind of talking about that before everyone got on. We were speaking about ILP, individual learning plans that all students have in the middle school to high school levels. It's just recently became a requirement. They've always been around, but it's an actual requirement by Rhode Island Department of Ed And, like Middletown, we are all kind of going through that now and implementing it. And a big part of that is students taking skill assessments, interest assessments. And then for us as educators to kind of match their interests and their skills up to, are they going to be an insurance salesman? Are they going to be a teacher? But definitely that's really, really important. And I think we're really focusing on that in education right now.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Rob. Sorry about
I was just going to ask, I'm interested, Rosemary Craig is kind enough to be with us today, and I wanted to ask Rosemary and also whether or not she has any thoughts or any comments on this that she'd like to share with us.
Sure, thanks, Bob. And also I'd like our high school principal to weigh in. First of all, thanks for this opportunity. It's great to get everybody together. And it is about sharing and learning and knowing what everybody is doing. We work very closely with Newport and the Korea Tech program. As Rob said, and thank you for that, Rob, we encourage Newport to come in and share the programs with our students because we do not want to deny any student an opportunity for the fabulous program that they have. And that has been our philosophy for years, and working with Colleen, it's just totally reinforced. So that's great that we have a number of students. We encourage those students to be there. The other piece is that we have 3 Korea Tech programs at Middletown High School. And at another time, we'd love to share those programs with you. And I'll pass it off to Jeff just so he can talk about those programs at our high school. Jeff.
Go right ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Bob. So again, thanks to Carrie and Rob and Superintendent Germain as well. I've had the pleasure of working, this is my first year at the high school, and working closely with Carrie and Rob, especially at the beginning of the year, and figure out all the COVID craziness and how, our students were going to be, over there doing these excellent programs. And, I have to say those 2 individuals have just went above and beyond for Middletown kids. And, being an advocate for our kids, I just want to thank you publicly for that, because it's, it doesn't go unnoticed, and Ms. Krager and myself talk about it, regularly. So thank you for all that help. In regards to our programs, Rob had alluded a little bit earlier when he was speaking to the Department of Education's CTE programming, which is a fairly large initiative, possibly the largest state initiative right now, trying to get students, high school students across the state certified and credentialed by their graduation date in a variety of different programs. At the high school, our oldest program is probably approximately 7 years old now. It's our engineering program, followed by our computer science program, and then our fledgling program, which we're really excited about, is our biomedical. So we have 3 different programs right now at the high school. The biomedical program is not accredited yet, meaning that we're still a few years out from having our first cohort of students finish. So as such, the dollars associated with that program are kind of locked up at the moment. But we do receive funding for having those programs, in addition to training students for, some of the jobs of tomorrow and exciting things that we have down the pike. So what's really nice about our program in relation to the NACTech program and how we work together in partnership is some of the things that NACTech offers, like automotive, for example, we don't have at Middletown High School. And for that reason, there's some students from high school that travel over to the Rogers section of things to really thrive in those programs. And then, we also have some students from Newport, for example, coming over in our pre-engineering program to work with our 3D printers and, things of that nature. So it's a really nice collaborative opportunity. And I would say Portsmouth as well. When you look across the CTE, the career and tech offerings between the 3 municipalities on the island, there's really a lot of variability and a lot of ground covered, which is something that I think, all 3 towns should be proud of. In the sense that, we work well and we play well in the sandbox together, and it's all in the name of what's best for kids, and I think that that's really what kind of helps, us in the East Bay thrive right now. And as this program around the state continues to grow, I really do see good things for all 3 towns, coming about. So as Rosemary had mentioned, just to give you a little bit of our numbers, Currently, across our 3 programs, we do have just about 70 students enrolled. Our largest program is actually the newest. Our biomedical program currently has 33 students enrolled. And we're actually slotted to have another 33 students, predominantly Middletown Gaudet Middle School students, coming up into our programs next year, dispersed across engineering, biomedicine, and computer science. So part of the money, the federal funding that's tied to the CTE programming, has really helped us to update some of our technology. We've got some virtual reality items coming next year, which we're really excited about, to utilize with students in our computer tech and engineering programs. You know, part of the silver lining, I guess, if there's any, with COVID, is we really creatively had conversations about what our internship opportunities could look like, both in the building and outside of the building. So Lee had mentioned earlier in the conversation about students with special needs and being creative about, you know, career and technical opportunities for them. But in addition to career and technical opportunities, we have our life skills, our severe and profound kids who have job training as part of their transitional program. So that might be stocking shelves at a Walmart, or, you know, going to a local convenience store and doing some maintenance types of work. So we've really started to look into this year, in addition to looking to traditional partnerships like NACTech does really well. You saw the whole slide with everything that they have going on. Really thinking creatively about, you know, especially with students with special needs, or students that might not be able to get off site, for example, you know, hopefully it never happens again, but because of a global pandemic, how can we have virtual training sessions, whether that be something hands-on and interactive, or something that's done with a 360-degree video, where perhaps a worker, say, you know, at Raytheon, walks through with a specific type of camera and goes about their daily business. And now we have a student at Middletown High School put the headset on, and it feels as though there's a 360-degree view that they're walking alongside of the Raytheon worker. So we have some of that equipment on order, which we're really excited about and looking to implement, you know, next year and explore the opportunities with that. But again, you know, just to reiterate, I really appreciate everything that NACTech does for our students, and Superintendent Germain and everybody in Newport. And, you know, we're kind of at this point, little brother on the block, you know, coming from a little bit of a different perspective and really taking notes on the things that they've done excellent and well. And along with programs like Portsmouth, who I've been informed is adding another 3 CTE pathways this upcoming school year. It really seems to be the name of the game, is having this dual preparedness for our students as they approach graduation, not only for college readiness, which has been the traditional academic path for most people, but also if they so choose to go another direction, that stigma is removed. So that's a very heavy kind of theme that we have going on right now in Middletown High School. And it's something we're really proud of and hoping to grow in the future. But again, I appreciate the conversation and the presentation from our NACTech friends, because, you know, they do it well. They do it really well. So kudos to you.
If I could just say something, I just want to say that we are very fortunate, and you may have seen, you may be seeing it right now, how well all the East Bay superintendents and districts do work with each other to, you know, talk about the programming they're going to offer, so there's no duplication. And then making sure we open as many pathways and opportunities for all our students over here on Aquinic Island, Tiverton, Little Compton, and as Rob has shared, we even go across the other way to Jamestown and North Kingston. But I just want to say we're very lucky because we have school boards and we have others, community members that support us. And we know as superintendents, I don't want to speak for Ro, but I know when we get together, we say, how can we make this work? And make it so that it's, because we always have to deal with those budgets, keep it cost neutral for us as much as possible. And that is why, unlike the rest of the state, we just say to each other, we're going to have a flat fee, and this is the fee. So if we send someone to your district, it's going to be X, and if you send them to our district, it's going to be X. Because this is about the kids, and it's about opening up as many different opportunities for them. So I just want to let you know that we do share a lot in the sense of we talk to each other, and we do talk to the programs we're offering. I will also share that we do hit the pavement too, going for grants in the Van Buren. Thank goodness for Van Buren Charitable Foundation, who has helped, I believe, both our communities in getting some of the equipment and either training or whatever we need. So I want to stick my nose in this and say thank you very much for allowing us to come see you all on screen and share this with you. So
Our pleasure, our pleasure.
Bob,
Well,
Bob,
I
Bob,
don't want to shut this off at all. I'm at home and not going to the office recently, so I can do
Bob,
whatever I want to do. But
Terry has her hand
anybody
up.
else?
Terry has her.
Terry Flynn has her hand up.
Terry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No apologies necessary. I think it's my background. It camouflages it. And just one thought, this seemed like the group to bring it up in front of is one of the theme concerns that I do bring up a few times are the youth. It's not just the students that are currently enrolled. I have a great concern about our youth that may not be meeting their maximum potential because they chose poorly or they couldn't decide or they tried something like college for a year and it just didn't work out. And I don't know, I mean, I know that there's adult education and there's, the apprenticeship programs, but a lot of these kids, they're adults, but they're not. They just don't know what to do. So, and not that, any job is good if you're holding a job and you're, making money and paying your bills. And I think they get in this rut where to support themselves, especially here on the island, which is very expensive, they need to like dishwash for 60 hours a week, or they're, in the stocking shelves, and then they don't have time to pursue something that, might be a more fulfilling path for them. And I didn't know if, the only familiar world for them that they knew last was high school. And where do they go for guidance once they are, 19, 20, maybe 21, trying to decide? You mentioned earlier the interest surveys. And is there anywhere that they can go, that they can comfortably go to kind of get some assistance when they're in that mode? And I think that happens, our youngest is 18 and I see it firsthand. So I just wanted to throw that out to the group.
Feel free to weigh in, anyone.
Would that go to, I'm looking at Carrie and Rob because we have another sidebar conversation going on about MC3. Wouldn't that be MC3 or going to Prepare Rhode Island? Or I know as part of our Newport build for Rogers, that is a strategic plan we have in place specifically for students that are out of school, and it's part of the plan. We will be pursuing something where in after hours, which Kerry and Rob have already done with Brian Hannon, and he brought in some 18 to, I don't know how old they were, 30-year-olds in
24.
24. And they came in and they learned culinary skills. They wanted to work in the restaurant. That is what we want to do more of in non-school hours. And that has been purposely written into our stage 2 application with RIDE. And it is one of our goals for the new build for the high school in making sure it's a community center. So that's the one thing. I don't know. I got faces when I mentioned the other thing, so I don't think I was right on that.
So we're looking at that too, with our Beyond the Bell program, offering programs that are post high school, and what we can do for those students who are kind of the tweeners, haven't really landed on a job or college or community college, and what kind of skill can we offer them? The old time years ago, it was the adult education program that would offer those types of skills. Now it's our really alternate learning program. So there is a need for that, and really the schools are good at that kind of programming. So it's important, with Newport building that in their in schools. This might be an opportunity for the Newport and Portsmouth schools and East Bay really to try to forge something together like that for those adults, young adults.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I look forward to that being more developed and advertised and see that, to take shape, be part of the community education. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Yeah.
So while we have ourselves in one group, let's ask any further questions that we might have on our mind. Are there any out there? Okay, well, I would say this. I'm particularly indebted to Colleen and Rob and Kerry for the presentation and the sharing of the information. Some of our members might be much more aware of what is in fact available. I learned a lot today, and I appreciate the opportunity to participate with everyone. I'd like to take it to another level. I suggest that when we meet MEDAC again, that we consider what the next step might be. And it might be what Rosemary suggested, that perhaps from the Middletown perspective, we have another joint meeting like this and can share what we're doing in a little bit more detail than what Jeff and Rosemary did today. If that's a possibility, I'd like to follow it up.
Good.
Okay.
Anyway, my thanks to you, Colleen, too, because this has been something we wanted to find out and bring, publicize the great work you're doing. And I think with the new school, my guess is probably you're going to expand your opportunities. Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way, John. So
you got to have the will first.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So the more we can do for families and students and our communities, and I don't mean just communities on Aquidneck Island. We're one island, now one Newport, one island. And let's face it, there are neighborhoods all over this island that are from either Newport or Middletown. Everybody moves in packs and their families all know we're all related somehow. So whatever we can do to work together, we're there. We're always there. So.
Good. All the more reason to address Portsmouth with all those Newporters that have moved out there over the years. Well, thank you so very much, Colleen, and everyone that attended. I see Barbara in the background. I don't mean to avoid talking with you and saying hello, but I think it's been very informative to all of us. And Mr. Wolanski, is there anything left for the good of the order, or do we just adjourn the meeting?
I think you can go ahead and adjourn, and this topic, at least for MEDAC, will be a running topic on your regular agenda.
Terrific.
That's
you, great.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
See you
Our
in New
pleasure.
York.
Take care.
Night.